All right, howdy guys. We're gonna try this again. So here inside my house, because it didn't work super well outside, and so we're gonna shoot the video inside. I got my buddy here, Ike, to help me. The dog might come in and out. I'll have to clean the mess because she loves to run down here when I'm shooting videos and stuff like that. However, we took a trip to Harbor Freight today, right? And we spent some money, but not a whole lot of money. We spent $100, $105, right? We spent $105 and got some survival gear, right? I'm gonna air quote survival gear because you can use gear whatever you want to use it for, right? Tools are tools, and they're helpful regardless what you use them for. Now, some of the things that I bought will be quite apparent why I bought them. Some of the things might not be. And they will seem very single use or have a mindset use to them for most people. So we're gonna hop into it, some of the things that I bought. So first thing to get into, tarp, right? This tarp was $5. For $5, it's kind of hard to beat, right? Everyone tells you to carry a poncho in like your go bag, your survival kit, or anything like that. Tarp, it'll do you wonders. That's 7 foot by 9 foot, a little bit bigger than a person. I'm not gonna say that you should get any bigger or any different quality. For $5 at 5mm, that one will work fine. It has grommets on it. However, I bought some things to show you that could help you if you had a tarp that didn't, right? So here we have tarp clips, right? Anyway, so tarp clips, you basically attach them to the tarp, right? And it gives you grommets to work with. So if you didn't have a tarp with grommets, these could really help. And those were $1.50, right? So as far as like shelter goes, you can build a lot of shelters with a tarp or a poncho or anything of that nature. And these right here, these cords with little balls at the end of them, they help. They'll help you build a shelter pretty fast, be able to take it down pretty fast. I like to use these on my grommets and have them attached so I can just take my tarp down pretty fast, roll it up, put it in my bag, and get going. A lot of people tell you use paracord and all that kind of other stuff because you can do something very similar with paracord. Absolutely, right? For ease of use, for $1 a piece, I like them. I prefer these over bothering with tying knots. I understand tying knots is super easy, but I also don't like fiddling around with the cordage a whole lot. And these stretchy cords and stuff like that, sure, they don't last like super long. Like they're not going to last you 3 or 4 years or anything like that. Cordage might, right? But it's going to have a lot of friction. Again, a little different filming in the house. Anyway, so cordage will work, right? Absolutely. This is just me being a little bougie, but $1 a piece, I prefer them. So that is part of my shelter stuff. Also something pretty nice to have around, don't always need, but good to do. You can use this to hike your food up, depending on where you live. You don't want the animals to get to it and stuff like that. You can use this for getting your gear down cliff sides. I don't necessarily recommend using it to get you down cliff sides. Most rope does not have a rating for humans. However, what you do with your gear is a whole different situation. You can use it if you need to. You can use trees and all that kind of stuff to get you down a cliff or something like that. But base that on your environment and buy the right rope if you're going to do that. At $5 for that rope, I'm not sure I'd trust it with my life, right? If I did, I'd probably braid it first, and it would be a lot shorter, and I would use it for a very short distance, right? Any rope that's braided is going to be pretty much much stronger than if it wasn't. So if you have a rope that is not rated for your weight, you still need to use it, If you can braid it and still have the appropriate length to do what you need, go for it. Give it a try. Test it first, obviously. Don't make the jump if you don't trust your equipment. Another thing that I got is this cute little lamp. Right, this was $4, and the ability to work at night and to be able just to pull this out, hang it up, or put it down and work. Well, that is very helpful. Not necessary, but very helpful. But if you get hurt or anything like that, the ability to be hands-free and still be able to work in the dark is very nice. So at $4, I will gladly make that sacrifice for me. I understand that this is bigger and it doesn't weigh a whole lot, but at the same time it's bigger, so if you don't have space or you have a weight constraint, that might not be something you want to pick up. But at $4, you make whatever decision you want, right? Again, not necessarily something you need to get. I prefer to have something of this nature. These are safety glasses. They're sunglasses at the same time. I got these for $1. They are not the most stylish. However, they will protect your eyes, especially against something like snow blindness and stuff like that. Here, I have a lot of snow. Snow reflects a lot of sunlight, so if you like your eyes, you can put your anti-glint or anything like that, whatever you want to do. But $1 for a pair of sunglasses, so I can take on and off and have them to protect my eyes if I was chopping wood or do anything like that. It's pretty nice. So at $1, an expense I'm willing to make your eyes are something you want to protect as much as you can. I would say if you can go higher quality, absolutely. But again, we're walking through Harbor Freight. Harbor Freight is not known for its quality, it's known for its abundance or quantity. We'll go with that. So, yes, all right. Next in here, a little bit of wire. So I can't overstate how important a little bit of wire can go for snares, connecting things for electrical purposes or anything like that. A little bit of wire goes a long way. You don't have to have a lot. This was $1, right? I don't need more than this typically for anything I'm going to do. If I'm going to be out for a long time, I can go find wire just about anywhere. Different wires have different uses. Like I don't want to use copper wire for a snare. However, if I could use copper wire to like connect things electronically, then that is something that I would like to do in comparison. So different wires do different things. However, that wire is can be pretty helpful for a multitude of things. And sometimes you need something a little bit different than cordage to attach things. So keep that in mind. Super glue. I find super glue super helpful. That was $3 for all of that. Probably not the greatest super glue in the world, however, doesn't matter. Typically only going to use it to bandage cuts or anything like that. And then obviously stick things together. It's pretty self-explanatory. I said protect your eyes, well, protect your hands. Gloves, those were $4. They're not the best gloves in the world, but they're leather gloves and they were on sale for $4. And if you can get good gloves, a good pair of gloves will last you a long time. And I will say that you can work a lot longer with gloves than without them, and you can touch a lot more things with gloves than without them. So gloves are pretty important in my book. Zip ties. Now, zip ties, you can do a lot with zip ties. However, what you do with them is your business. I don't think you need 100 of them. Those were, I think, $2 for 100 of them. Carry 10 of them, and you can attach quite a many things to different things. If you see, there's a theme here about attaching stuff, and there's not a whole lot of things that you need to attach yet. Like if I needed to attach this to a tree, I could very easy use a zip tie to do it, or I could use cordage, or I could use that wire, right? All of these things that have to do with attaching stuff makes the tools that you have more versatile. You'll see further tools as we go along. However, gloves are important. Those zip ties, I could use those zip ties to keep those attached to my belt if I really wanted to. I'm not saying I would do that, however, you could do that. All right. Zip ties you can use to attach things. We'll get to that in a minute. What else we got here? Obviously, 550 cord, 250 for 50 feet of it. Not the best deal in the world, however, at 50 feet I can do a lot with it. I'd cut it into 5-10 feet probably, and then keep them for very specific tasks. You can do a whole lot with quarters, so whatever you choose to do with it. Duct tape. Again, you'll see a whole theme here about being able to attach stuff. Sticks and rocks and all kinds of other stuff for your friend. If you don't have an environment where certain things that I'm showing you are conducive, don't use them. Carry something else. All right, one of the things that I got at the store was a slingshot. This slingshot was $4. It's a Daisy slingshot. Slingshots, I think, are a little underrated for a survival tool. They're very good against small game, birds, squirrels, even rabbits sometimes, depending how good you get with a slingshot and how powerful your slingshot is. Rabbits are pretty sturdy in comparison to a squirrel. So you pop a squirrel with one, and most of the time it's stunned or down. You pop a rabbit one, it might just get a bruise and run away. So select your prey accordingly to the power of the slingshot you get. I don't think I'm hunting a rabbit with this one. I'll have to test it out, see how powerful it is, but I have a feeling it is not powerful enough to take down a rabbit. That being said, I think slingshots are pretty self-explanatory what you can use them for. They are not used for many other things other than distraction or to take down small game. It's a personal preference of something I saw there that could be helpful for $4, and I would gladly carry a slingshot. I've used slingshots for a great deal of many things. Another flashlight, but this flashlight is one that I can hand carry. The ability to, again, look at things at night and to be able to function and work during nighttime. Sometimes I need something faster and something to be able to hold, direct, point, get further light to it versus something that is an area light. I need something pointed light so I can look at it. I will say that is, again, something that we in our society probably overlook because we have an abundance of technology with us. So people stop carrying around torches and such. Seems like the little one might be up there playing. All right, so technology stuff, batteries, right? You want to be able to have some batteries to replace your stuff. Now, those batteries were $3 for 24, so you should be able to operate several days, maybe even a month, depending. I don't know if a month you could go with all these. Depends how often you have to use your lights and your environment. But with how often I would probably use them, I would say probably about a month on that $3 worth of batteries. Hopefully I could get to another stop and find some more batteries along the way, but if not, I've got 1 month's supply to figure something else as my source of light. Hopefully I can manage, let's put it that way. All right. So let's change this position here. Come on, you're gonna hold my butt. All right, so a folding saw at $4 for this folding saw. I'm not so sure how sturdy it is. We're gonna give it a test out and everything like that and see if it's any good. But folding saws, in my experience, have found that they are super helpful, almost more helpful than an axe. I know everyone wants to carry an axe. I've seen many injuries from axes. Do what you will, use what tool is comfortable to you. I do prefer an axe myself, if weight allows and my bag and kit and everything is good. However, at $4 for a folding saw, I will tell you that it's a very useful tool to have. If you think a folding saw seems silly, I challenge you to use one in your pack as you do stuff. Your wood collecting, your shelter building, all of that kind of stuff. And I will tell you, I think it's almost better than an axe for those kinds of things. However, an axe has many purposes where a folding saw does not, and a folding saw does not have a whole lot of purposes where an axe could. All right, I'm not hammering in or using it as a hook or anything to trust my weight on to pull or any of that kind of nature. So, axe has some benefits that a folding saw obviously does not. However, a folding saw is typically a lot safer and it's very pack friendly. So you fold it up, put it in the pack, typically weighs less. And if you have a axe and you're using anything other than a wood handle, I think you might need to reconsider. There's a reason why a lot of places use wood handles. Up north, specifically, if it's cold, and you're using fiberglass, polymer, or God forbid you have metal handles, you will find that your gloves can only protect you so much. So wood doesn't hold the cold as much, let's put it that way. I don't know the scientific way of saying it, but I will say that wood works better in the cold. Wood tools, as in like wood handles, obviously, right, go a long way in the cold. And I live in a cold environment, so I'm not saying I necessarily use this specific one that I have here, or my axe is a polymer, because it's not. The one that I typically carry around is a wood one. However, $4. That's all I gotta say, $4. Now, another thing that might not fit most of y'all's budget, or might not seem like something that you'd want to spend money on, right, is one of these puppies, right? Now, this one's a little flimsy in my book. I might have to figure out how to tighten this one up a little bit. It seems a little loose just out of the gate. I've used one of these many a time. However, this one, not the highest quality, but at $10, it is something I would pick up. There are numerous things which you use a shovel for. You can use a shovel for digging a shelter, so you're not directly in the line of sight. So you basically dig a hole, build your shelter, and it's not as high off of the ground, so you're not as visible, right? You use it to dig your latrine, or you do it to hide your food, or all kinds of stuff. Yes, it seems like it's a very simple tool, but you can also use it to chop wood and all that other kind of stuff. This particular one probably wouldn't do super well with chopping wood. However, you know, it's a Harbor Freight tool. I don't expect it to basically survive the beating I'm going to put it through and the testing that I'm going to put it through to see how effective it is. However, it's a foldable shovel for $10. That's great. Again, we'll see and we'll test the quality of it. But if I was not expecting to find that at Harbor Freight, let's put it that way. I'm super impressed that they had one, and I will say that it's a great tool to have, especially for $10. Even if it only lasts for a month, right? Hopefully it lasts much longer than that, and we'll see. We'll see how long it lasts. However, I'm impressed that they even have one, and selling it at $10, big pickup. I would grab that in a heartbeat. All right. So they also have these little fire starters. If you don't know what a magnesium fire starter is, give it a try, pick them up, give it a shot, see if you like it or not. That one's not my favorite, obviously. I like thicker ones you can just take the rod and throw sparks with. However, for $1, I mean, that's a nice thing to have. And you can throw it in any kit or just wear it as a keychain, because you're always going to need something of that nature, right? And if you get good at using one of those, you can use it to start any kind of fire. I'm not going to say that you can start it with soaking wet stuff. All right, we're going to hop back into that. A little bit of technical difficulties. You're going to see a little bit of shift change and all that kind of stuff. But we were almost done anyway, so it might be a little crooked. It'll be all right. It'll be all right. Just deal with me, all right? So we were talking about a shovel. We got a stone. This stone was I think $2. A good whetstone can last you a long time, and if used properly, it does a lot for you. You typically only need a stone if you purchase something like a knife, which we also did. Now, a knife is probably one of the most important tools that you can use, because you can use it for a whole lot of stuff. You can obviously baton it and split some wood and stuff like that, but you can use it for skinning, you can use it for all kinds of stuff, right? Now, that being said, you have to take care of your equipment, so that sharpening stone, part of the thing, right? You can't just assume it's going to be fine, right? You have to be able to manage your own stuff, right? Same thing with the shovel, right? I can sharpen that shovel and use it as an axe if I really wanted to. I'm not going to say I'm going to do that, right? However, could do it. Might be a lot of work. Might not have time to do it based on the scenario, right? However, knife, good tool to have. You can use it for a lot of things, obviously. That knife was $20, I think. I could have gone way cheaper. However, it's not the highest quality blade either. At $20, it's very reasonable. I can use it for a lot of stuff. Yeah, you do what you will with a knife, right? It's pretty self-explanatory. If you've ever used a knife, you can use it for a lot of things. If you've never used a knife, just be careful, learn with it. Don't cut yourself, don't cut others, unless you have to, right? Sometimes you have to cut yourself. It sounds weird, I know, but sometimes you get stuff stuck in you. You fell down a mountain or something, you get a rock, you gotta cut it out, right? All kinds of stuff. A piece of wood, right? Sometimes you gotta cut other people, right? Because you gotta do self-aid, buddy care on them, right? And then having a nice, sharp, clean knife is super important. So use knives as you will. I also bought this little bag. This bag was $5. You gotta have something to carry all your shit in, right? The tarp, you could do it all on the tarp if you really wanted to. I would prefer not to cause so much wear and tear on my tarp, so I'm gonna put all the other stuff in a bag, and I'm gonna use my tarp as my shelter, right? That bag was $5, non-conspicuous. Put all this stuff in there and still walk around, and no one's gonna look at me super weird, right? It looks like a tool bag because it is a tool bag, but all this stuff could fit relatively in there. I'm not sure if I would be able to attach the rope on the inside, but I could still hang stuff off the outside of it and stuff like that and still carry it around like no problem. And I could leave it somewhere, bury it somewhere, and I'm not gonna get too much of a sideways glance. It's not tactical, if that makes sense, and it's sturdy enough, right? So it works for a dump bag if I need to go leave all my tools and all of my ability to carry other things. I can just walk around, gather stuff up. For $5, the ability to carry stuff is pretty nice. And then I got this bucket for free when I purchased all this stuff. You could use it for carrying water, part of your latrine system, any of that kind of stuff. Hide your food in, hoist it up so things don't get it. All the tools that you see you can use in various ways, right? What you do with them is up to you and your knowledge and your creativity, right? You might think of some very neat things to do that I have no idea how to do. I've been taught some very basic skills, and hopefully I can share some of them with you in like this video and the coming videos. But do what you think you can do and what you know you can do. All the survival skills in the world won't save you if the situation's sideways, right? So you have to do what you can do. Situations don't typically go sideways when you're in your like comfort zone, right? So if I'm setting up my tent the way I want to set it up, and someone's like, oh, this way is faster. Well, if I've never trained how to take that knot out and collapse it, it's not faster for me, right? Everything's about execution. So they might be correct, right? for them. But when I go into execution mode, of like taking my tent down fast because I got to get out of that area, right? It might be faster for me to use those balls where I can just press it through, right? And then my tent is done, down, versus pulling a rope and in that same pulling motion be packing, right? Yeah, they might be right. It might be way faster, but that push motion and scooping motion works better for me, right? Because I've trained and practiced that. So like with all the stuff that I'm showing you here, what you would buy might be different because of your situation. You might not have a lot of trees, so you don't need a folding saw, right? Or you might be in a much colder environment, so you need to make sure that you purchased things like a jacket, right? This jacket was $30 at JCPenney's. Highly recommend. Go get you a good jacket. I'm not saying this is the greatest jacket, but it's pretty nice for $30. Pretty rugged. It fell down it earlier. Got no stains, no nothing. Super easy to clean off, and then warm enough and big enough that if I needed to conceal anything or any of that kind of nature, I can. It keeps my stuff pretty handy still. So, you know, lift up, all kind of stuff. Doesn't really get in the way, but big enough to hide a lot of stuff. Seems like the little one's getting up. So, anyway, that's really the video for the day. So, hopefully you learned something and maybe take a trip down to Harbor Freight if you're shopping for some stuff on a budget. For $105, we got all this stuff, and highly recommend that you prepare yourself at least a little bit for something. You don't have to do anything extravagant, right? You don't have to go out and spend $500 on a pair of binoculars because of this person told you to gear up, right? Sure, okay, you could do that. But with $100, you can do at least the minimum of some of the stuff that you should be carrying around or have accessible in case that you need to. Duct tape works wonders, and if you don't have duct tape in your house, like oh, I just don't have any of that around. I have tons and tons of it over there in my little shelf of things. Let's put it that way, shelf of things. I have a great deal of many of these things already, but I wanted to show y'all that with $100 you could prepare yourself for quite a lot. So hopefully you got a glimpse of a little bit, and hope you have a wonderful day. And if you have anything to share with any of us, please share with us, because there's better options out there, obviously, and there's many things that I didn't explain or describe in this video. And please, if you can, share them with people. It's important. We all need to become a little bit more prepared, not to fearmonger, right? But the world is not always going to be nice, and sometimes it's best to have a little bit of preparation goes a long way. Let's put it that way. A little bit of preparation can go a long way. So prepare for the worst, hope for the best. All right, have a good one, guys.